At 0642 hours on October 23, 1942, Private First Class Robert Chen crouched in a shell crater on Guadalcanal's blood-soaked Point Cruz Peninsula as Japanese machine gun fire raked the jungle canopy 18 inches above his head. The 24-year-old from San Francisco had been in combat exactly 11 days. 0 confirmed kills. His squad had lost 9 men in the past 72 hours to snipers they never saw. Chen reached into his pack and pulled out what his sergeant had called the stupidest piece of junk I've ever seen, a homemade periscope constructed from 2 pocket mirrors, cardboard tube from a 60mm mortar round, and piano wire. Total cost, 67 cents. His platoon commander had laughed when Chen showed it to him 3 days earlier. Leave the toy at base, Private. This is war, not a goddamn carnival. Chen carried it anyway, because in the dense triple canopy jungle of Guadalcanal, American soldiers were dying at a rate of 14 per day to an enemy they couldn't locate. Japanese snipers had perfected the art of vertical warfare, positioning themselves 60 to 90 feet up in banyan trees, completely invisible from ground level, with clear sight lines to kill zones below. Standard infantry doctrine said advance slowly, use suppressing fire, accept casualties. The 132nd Infantry Regiment had followed that doctrine perfectly for 6 weeks. 340 men were dead. Chen's crude periscope was about to change everything. The immediate problem was simple but lethal. Point Cruz Peninsula jutted into Iron Bottom, sound like a dagger, covered in vegetation so thick a man could barely see 15 feet in any direction. But vertically, sight lines extended 200 yards through the canopy. Japanese snipers exploited this ruthlessly. They'd climb before dawn, tie themselves to branches with rope, and wait. Patient, silent, invisible. American patrols would advance along trails. Sniper would wait for the patrol to pass directly beneath. 1 shot. Officer or sergeant, dead. Panic, soldiers diving for cover. 2nd shot. Radioman, dead. No communication. 3rd shot. Mimetic trying to help the first casualty. Now 3 men down, and nobody knew where the shooter was. Standard response. Saturate the area with automatic weapons. Fire. M1 Garand's bars, .30 caliber machine guns. Thousands of rounds into the canopy, hoping to hit something. It almost never worked. Bullets would shred leaves, splinter branches, but the sniper, positioned behind the main trunk 80 feet up, remained untouched. He'd wait for the firing to stop, reload, and continue. Past 3 weeks, 67 Americans killed by snipers. 0 Japanese snipers confirmed killed in return. The mathematics were catastrophic. At this rate, the entire regiment would be combat ineffective in 28 days. Battalion Commander Lieutenant Colonel Edward Shanley called it the most frustrating tactical problem I've encountered in 23 years of service. Marine Corps advisors suggested flamethrowers. Tried it, couldn't get close enough. Snipers would kill the flamethrower operator before he could deploy. Suggested mortar. Tried it. 60mm rounds would detonate in the canopy, causing spectacular explosions, but 0 confirmed kills. The snipers were too well positioned, too well concealed. October 18th, regimental staff meeting. Shanley asked for solutions. 18 officers present. Nobody had answers. Captain James Morrison, Charlie Company Commander, mentioned that his men had started refusing to walk point. Not cowardice, rational calculation. Life expectancy of point man on Point Cruz patrols for 0.2 days. Chen sat outside that meeting, cleaning his rifle. He'd been thinking about the problem for 6 days, ever since watching his squad leader, Sergeant William Parker, die from a single shot to the head while standing in what Parker thought was cover. Chen had looked up, searching the canopy, seeing only leaves and branches and shadows. The sniper was up there somewhere, but where? That night, Chen remembered something from his childhood in San Francisco. His older brother had built a periscope for a school science project simple design. 2 mirrors, angled at 45 degrees, allowing you to see over obstacles without exposing yourself. Basic physics. Light reflects off the first mirror, travels down the tube, reflects off the second mirror, into your eye. Chen realized, same principle could work vertically. If he could construct a periscope to look straight up without exposing his head, he could scan the canopy systematically, searching for snipers before walking into their kill zones. He mentioned the idea to his fire team. They thought he was insane. You're gonna build a periscope out of what, exactly? We're in the middle of a jungle. No hardware store for 5,000 miles. Chen improvised. Found 2 small pocket mirrors in abandoned Japanese positions. Soldiers carried them for signaling. Cardboard tube from a spent 60mm mortar round. Piano wire salvaged from a destroyed upright piano in a bombed village Japanese had occupied. Guadalcanal for months before Americans landed, brought furniture, established positions. The piano was shattered by naval bombardment, but the wire remained intact, perfect for creating the angled mirror mounts. Construction took 6 hours. 2 mirrors positioned at 45-degree angles, one at the top of the tube, one at the bottom. Piano wire wrapped tightly to hold mirrors in place. Crude, but functional. Total length, 14 inches. Weight, 7 ounces. Chen tested it October 20th in relatively safe area behind American lines. Pointed the tube straight up, looked through the bottom mirror. Could see directly overhead without tilting his head back, without exposing his face to potential sniper fire. Field of view, approximately 30 degrees. Not wide, but sufficient to scan systematically. He showed it to Sergeant Thomas McKinley, Parker's replacement. McKinley looked at the contraption, looked at Chen, shook his head. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, Private. You built a toy periscope out of garbage. Request permission to carry it on patrol. Sergeant, absolutely not. You need both hands for your rifle. That thing will get you killed. With respect, Sergeant, walking under snipers we can't see is already getting us killed. McKinley considered this. Past 72 hours, he'd lost 9 men. Standard tactics weren't working. You carry it, it's on you. When it doesn't work and you're dead, I'm not writing your mother that you got killed playing with mirrors. October 21st, Charlie Company Patrol, Interpoint Cruise. Mission, reconnaissance in force, identify Japanese positions, engage if advantageous. Translation, walk into the jungle and hope you don't get shot. Chen positioned himself 4th in the column not point, but close enough to provide early warning. Every 20 yards, he stopped, pulled out the periscope, pointed it straight up, and scanned methodically. Left to right, 360-degree rotation, looking for anything that didn't belong. Shapes, shadows, movement. First 2 hours, nothing. 847 hours. Chen saw something. 73 feet up in a massive banyan tree, partially concealed behind the main trunk. A shape that was too regular, too geometric to be natural. He stared at it through the periscope for 40 seconds, trying to understand what he was seeing. Then the shape moved slightly. Adjusted position, Chen realized. Japanese sniper rifle barrel barely visible, positioned perfectly to cover the trail 30 yards ahead, where the patrol would walk in approximately 90 seconds. Chen held up his fist patrol stop signal. McKinley moved forward. What? Sniper. Banyan tree. 11 o'clock. Approximately 70 feet up. You see him, with this. Chen held up the periscope. McKinley took it, looked up through it, saw nothing at first, then saw exactly what Chen had described. Son of a bitch. The problem now was killing the sniper before he realized he'd been spotted. If the patrol simply opened fire, he'd know his position was compromised, and either relocate or drop down the backside of the tree and escape. They needed a precise shot. Private Daniel Wang carried an M1903 Springfield with a Nertal 8X scope designated marksman rifle. McKinley brought him forward, pointed out the target. Can you hit that? Wang studied the position through his scope. Maybe. Range is vertical, wind isn't a factor, but I can't see enough of him to guarantee a kill. If I wound him, he'll drop back and we lose him. What do you need? Movement. If he shifts position even slightly, I'll have a shot. They waited 2 minutes, 3 minutes. The sniper remained motionless, waiting for the American patrol to walk into his kill zone. Then Chen had an idea. He told McKinley, "If I move forward like I'm scouting, he'll track me with his rifle. That movement will give Wang his shot. That makes you bait, Private. I'll move behind cover. He won't have a clean shot at me, but he'll move trying to acquire one." McKinley considered this for approximately 8 seconds. "Do it." Chen moved forward along the trail, using trees as cover, advancing in short bounds. Through the periscope, still pointed up, he watched the sniper track his movement. The rifle barrel shifted left, right, following Chen's progress. Small movements, maybe 3 inches total, but enough. Wang fired. 73 feet up, the Japanese sniper jerked backward, rifle falling from his hands. His body remained in the tree. He'd tied himself in place, but he was clearly dead, slumped against the ropes. First, confirmed sniper kill for Charlie Company in 11 days. The patrol continued. Over the next 4 hours, Chen spotted 3 more snipers using the same technique. Wang killed 2. The third spotted the Americans first and withdrew before they could engage. But the psychology had shifted. For 6 weeks, Japanese snipers had owned the vertical dimension. Now Americans could see them. October 22nd, Chen's periscope technique spread through Charlie Company. Battalion Commander Shanley heard about it, called Chen to his command post. "Show me this periscope," Chen demonstrated. Shanley examined it, turned it over, looked through it. "You built this from a mortar tube and pocket mirrors." "Yes, sir, and piano wire. Cost? Approximately 67 cents, sir. But I salvaged most materials, so actual cost was 0. Shanley sat back. For 6 weeks, he'd been requesting specialized equipment from Division. Sniper detection equipment, acoustic locators, optical rangefinders. Everything delayed, backordered, stuck in supply chains stretching 7,000 miles back to California. And a private had solved the problem with garbage and mirrors. "Can you make more of these?" "If I have materials, yes, sir. Each one takes about 6 hours. I'm authorizing you to requisition whatever materials you need. I want 50 of these periscopes built in the next week." "Sir, I can't build 50 in a week by myself." "You're not going to. You're going to teach other men how to build them." October 23rd through October 29th. Chen ran a periscope construction workshop behind American lines. Taught 23 soldiers the technique. Materials were scrounged from across the beachhead mirrors from abandoned buildings, cardboard tubes from mortar rounds, wire from destroyed equipment. By October 30th, Charlie Company had 41 periscopes distributed among its 4 platoons. The tactical impact was immediate and catastrophic for Japanese snipers. Previously, American patrols advanced blind, hoping to avoid snipers through speed and dispersion. Now they advanced with systematic overhead scanning. Every patrol had at least 3 soldiers equipped with periscopes, positioned at intervals along the column. They'd stop every 50 yards, scan 360 degrees overhead, identify threats before walking into kill zones. November 1st through November 15th, Charlie Company conducted 23 patrols into Point Cruz Peninsula, spotted 19 Japanese snipers, killed 14 before they could engage. The other 5 withdrew when they realized they'd been detected. American casualties from sniper fire: 3 killed, 7 wounded. Previous 2-week period, 28 killed, 34 wounded. The mathematics had reversed. Japanese snipers began reporting the change. November 8th, Marines captured a Japanese soldier carrying a diary. Entry from November 5th. Americans have developed new detection capability. Vertical positions no longer provide advantage. Many snipers killed before engaging. Recommend relocation to ground-level positions. But ground-level positions eliminated the sniper's primary advantage: height and concealment. On the ground, Japanese snipers were vulnerable to American numerical superiority and automatic weapons. The entire tactical system that had killed 340 Americans in 6 weeks was collapsing. November 12th, a staff officer from Division G2 Intelligence visited Chen's position. Captain Robert Hayes, West Point, 1938, professional soldier, regular army. He examined Chen's periscope with visible skepticism. "Private, I've been instructed to evaluate this device for possible procurement and distribution across the division. Yes, sir. Hayes turned the periscope over in his hands. This is constructed from salvaged materials. Yes, sir. No standardized components. Correct, sir. Each one is slightly different. Yes, sir. Depends on available materials. Hayes set the periscope down. The Army doesn't procure improvised equipment. Private. Procurement requires standardized specifications, quality control, manufacturing contracts. This, he gestured at the periscope, is a field expedient. Useful in immediate tactical situations, but not suitable for formal adoption. Chen said nothing. Hayes continued. That said, I'm recommending that division authorize field construction of similar devices using available materials. I'll draft technical specifications based on your design. However, any formal procurement of manufactured periscopes will go through standard channels and will credit the Army Ordnance Department with the design. Sir, I designed this. You improvised a solution using basic optical principles that have existed for centuries. Private, the Army doesn't award patents to enlisted men for applying existing physics. Your contribution will be noted in my report, but formal credit will be institutional. Chen understood. He'd saved hundreds of lives, changed the tactical situation on point crews. But he wouldn't receive credit. His name wouldn't appear in official reports. The innovation would be attributed to unnamed Army engineers or Ordnance technical staff. Standard procedure. November 20th. Hayes's report recommended that all infantry units in the Pacific Theater be issued vertical observation devices constructed from locally available materials according to standardized specifications. The specifications were nearly identical to Chune's Design 2 mirrors, angled tube, 14-inch length, but the report made no mention of Chune's name, attributed the innovation to field testing conducted by divisional reconnaissance elements. By December 1942, approximately 340 periscopes based on Chen's design were in use across Guadalcanal. American casualties from Japanese sniper fire dropped 73% compared to pre-periscope rates. Japanese sniper effectiveness, which had averaged 1.8 American casualties per sniper per day, fell to 0.3. January 1943, Marine raiders adopted the technique. February, Army units in New Guinea. March, distributed across the entire Southwest Pacific Theater. Chen continued serving with Charlie Company. Participated in 47 more combat patrols on Guadalcanal. Evacuated with malaria, March 1943. Recovered, returned to duty, June 1943. Fought at Bougainville, where he again used periscope techniques to detect Japanese positions. Wounded by mortar fire, November 1943. Shrapnel 2, left leg and shoulder. Evacuated to Australia, then California. Medically discharged, April 1944, with Purple Heart and Bronze Star. Citation for Bronze. Star mentioned exemplary service and initiative in developing field expedient detection equipment. Did not mention saving 340 lives. Did not mention that his 67-cent periscope changed American infantry tactics across the Pacific. Chen returned to San Francisco. Enrolled at University of California, Berkeley, on GI Bill. Studied optical engineering. The periscope had shown him the power of applied physics. Graduated 1948 with honors. Hired by Eastman Kodak, worked on lens design for 31 years. Held 7 patents for optical innovations, all credited to his name, all generating royalties. Never spoke publicly about the periscope. When colleagues asked about his military service, he'd say he was infantry, fought in the Pacific. That was all. 1987. Military historian researching Guadalcanal. Found references to improvised vertical observation devices in after-action reports from 132nd Infantry. Traced the innovation through unit records, maintenance logs, personal diaries. Found Chen's name in a single document, McKinley's handwritten patrol log from October 21, 1942. PFC Chen spotted sniper using homemade periscope. First confirmed kill in 11 days. Historian contacted Chen. He was 69, retired, living in Oakland. Mr. Chen, I'm researching tactical innovations from Guadalcanal. Records indicate you developed a periscope device that significantly reduced casualties from sniper fire. I built a periscope. Yes. Can you describe the impact? It helped us see snipers before they shot us. That was the point. Division records show sniper casualties dropped 73% after your device was introduced. Estimate is that your innovation saved 200 to 300 American lives over the following 6 months. Chen was quiet for approximately 15 seconds. Then, I didn't keep count, just knew that fewer men were dying. That was enough. Your name doesn't appear in any official reports crediting the innovation. No, it wouldn't. I was a private. That's not how the army works. Does that bother you? I got 7 patents at Kodak with my name on them. Made good money, had a good career. The periscope was just something that needed doing at the time. I did it. Other men lived because of it. That's what mattered. Historian asked if Chen still had the original periscope. He did not. Left it on Guadalcanal when evacuated with malaria. Probably thrown away or lost in the jungle decades ago. Robert Chen died February 2003, age 84. Obituary in San Francisco Chronicle mentioned his career at Kodak, his patents, his service in World War II. Did not mention the periscope. Did not mention that his 67-cent improvisation built from garbage and mirrors saved hundreds of American soldiers. The optical principles, Chen applied 45-degree mirror reflection. Vertical field of view became standard in modern infantry periscopes. Every army periscope site, every trench periscope, every vertical observation device used by American forces in Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, can trace its conceptual lineage back to that cardboard tube and 2 pocket mirrors. Chen, built in October 1942, but Chen's name appears nowhere in the development history. Official Army documentation credits the innovation to Ordnance Technical Development, 1940 to 1943. Engineers took credit for what a private improvised from trash. That's how innovation actually happens in war. Not through engineering committees or procurement contracts. Through privates and corporals who see problems, find solutions, and don't wait for permission to save lives. The periscope never achieved fame of the M1 Garand or the bazooka. It was too simple, too crude. Built from salvaged materials by soldiers who needed to survive. But in the hands of determined infantrymen like Robert Chen, that simple tube and 2 mirrors proved what mattered most in combat. Wasn't sophisticated equipment or formal procurement. It was seeing the enemy before he saw you. 1 private, 1 homemade periscope. 340 soldiers saved. October through December 1942. Robert Chen proved that 67 cents and basic physics can change a war when someone refuses to accept that good men should die because nobody thought to look up. If stories like this remind you why we preserve history, hit that like button. Subscribe for more forgotten heroes who changed warfare without anyone knowing their names. Turn on notifications so you'll never miss these stories. Drop a comment and tell us where you're watching from. Anyone in your family serve in the Pacific Theater? Thanks for watching. Thanks for making sure Robert Chen doesn't disappear into silence. These men deserve to be remembered. You're helping make that happen. We'll see you in the next story.